Dating apps, this is actually quite serious. They've become one of the most common places Aussies look for love, but far too often what they end up finding is abuse. Today, a government initiative is encouraging the companies behind these apps to do a whole lot more to stop the violence.
After getting the tick of approval from the eSafety Commissioner,
today, the voluntary dating apps code is now operationalised.
The Australia-wide industry code is basically a collective kick up the backsides of online dating app companies to urge them to do more to protect users from abuse. The code requires dating apps to have systems in place to detect incidents of harm and to have clearer and more prominent complaint and reporting mechanisms. It also encourages apps to have proactive engagement with Australian law enforcement. To comply, app makers have 6 months to implement these changes, plus several more.
In 9 months, eSafety will report back on the effectiveness of the code. If this code does not deliver the safety benefits that we expect for Australians, then the government will have no hesitation in imposing direct regulation on this sector.
A recent study found a shocking 72.3% of Australians who'd used dating apps over a 5-year period had been subjected to sexual violence, ranging from being sent unwanted images to verbal and physical assault. Action from dating app companies was lax, to say the least.
I feel like everyone sort of has like a dating app horror story.
Yeah, there's been times, where I felt unsafe on the dating app,
I've had like unpleasant messages.
Like more than 10.
Just being sent like unsolicited nudes, didn't ask for them, didn't really want to see them.
Did you report them?
Good question. No, I feel like no.
No.
Yeah, I did.
What was the response from the company when you did report it, do you remember?
I think it was like a generic like, oh yeah, like we'll take that into account and make it a safer space or whatever, but yeah.
The government says big name apps like Tinder, Hinge and Grindr are already committing to the voluntary code.
Big names like RSVP, eHarmony, Bumble. The whole point of this is to make this a very popular form of meeting new partners, one that is safer, one that encourages innovation, but one in which the sector is incentivised to have better safety features to protect Australians online.
Would you welcome something to make apps safer?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there definitely should be something to help prevent it, yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
It's good to have the voluntary thing to start it.
Voluntary is a step in the right direction, but mandatory should be the aim.
I think the key word when you hear this is voluntary, right? It's like, will the companies actually do anything if they can pick and choose whether they do this or how much they do it? So maybe their incentive is like a commercial incentive. If there's competition in the market, you might want to associate your brand with safety and so therefore commit to these safety measures. But given that these apps are also, interestingly, making record profits since they've started charging for these apps and charging more and more, I just don't know if 9 months...
Well, that's the interesting thing, right? Because user numbers have been falling, but apparently the subscription, the cost that you pay to subscribe for likes has been jacked up to $50 a month for Tinder.
Yeah.
And then over the pandemic, it was as low as $7. I mean, you're the youth on the panel. We're all old. We've found love
I'm also
before.
married with a child and I'm not on dating apps.
We've never used one. I've never used one.
We haven't. She's speaking for all of us. Although I used my nieces recently, so she was single and she's beautiful, and I got on there and I just swiped right on all these blokes.
As a prank?
Not as a prank, no. I said, he looks all right, and then she let me do it, but I don't think she went on any dates with them.
Yeah,
so.
Maybe your taste is not her taste. Maybe that's it.
I'm like, they're breathing, they're okay.
But if you're right, if users are dropping but profits are up because they're charging, there is a world where they could have both, where they could have more users and still charge.
That's it.
And I suspect that's why the government's saying a voluntary code might work, because if they're already interested in moving in that direction, you can have a voluntary code. It's only when they don't actually want to move that you have to hit them over the head. We'll see if that's where they end up. Yeah.